Welcome back. This is the final video of the Sigil Precept video series. I was actually just looking back on all the other videos, and the very first video that I did was October 22nd of 2022. And it seems like so long ago, but it's actually not. It hasn't even really been a full year. We're a couple weeks off or something like that for a full year, but the work that has been done, the videos, the amount of change that has happened to myself, and I'm sure for you, has been an amazing adventure, an amazing challenge, and joyous at most occasions, and I'm sure crying in others. But it has been amazing for me, and I thank you for sticking with me and watching my videos, and I only hope that you've learned something about yourself along the way. So almost a year. It's been amazing. So my book, The Sigil Precept, Finding a Balance to Our Inner Selves. Throughout the book and these videos, you've had the opportunity to work with each part of the Sigil Precept as a singular piece. Cultivating changes within you and gaining a better understanding of who you are, where you've come from, who you are presently, and where you want to go. And what your life literally has to offer in the positive aspects. Now, not too many people actually wish to take over a year to work on each part. And towards the end of the book, this last video that I did, I broke it down for, each aspect, each layer is a year's work, breaking down to like between 3 and 4 weeks worth. So that's one of the reasons why I did that. But this aspect, this last video is literally a simpler version. It's a culmination of the sigil in just a few months' time. That you can do. Now, mind you, these are just opinions, these are just ideas. You work with it however you want. This is your journey, okay? I want you to feel comfortable. Just please remember to give yourself love and patience and walk away if you need to. But this is a part of your journey, not mine. I'm only giving you different ideas as to how to work with the Sigil Precept, okay? I will state, in my opinion again, in order to get the full benefit, working on each aspect singularly can be helpful. Flipping open, the book, if you're having an issue in one of your areas, maybe flipping it open and doing an exercise or two, may be beneficial for you. Again, it's just an idea. Either way, thank you for joining me for this last video. And as we go further, I'm looking forward to seeing where we go. So many blessings, and welcome to the final video. So, as you can see, I've uploaded some, within this video, some pages that kind of goes back through each layer and how long to work with them and what to work with them. Even though we're putting this together as a whole, I wanted to just give you a refresh. I also wanted to answer a couple of questions that I had received previously on the concept of the sigil and its basic foundation. We do have signs and symbols around us, and to me, symbols mean a lot. I see a certain symbol and it resonates somehow with me. When I was working to do The Sigil Precept. I went through, because I'm very eclectic in what I read, what I learn, how I've taught others. I'm very eclectic. So I was going through my mind thinking of different things. And the Sigil Precept is very loosely based on a medicine wheel, in a sense. So if you've ever had the opportunity to work with, or at least understand the workings of a medicine wheel, the concept of working with the sigil as a singular, or incorporated in everything, should look very familiar. For those of you that have not had the opportunity to work with the medicine wheel, I'm going to break it down a little bit for you. The Native American concept, as my understanding, is the medicine wheel symbolically represents a non-linear model of human development. So you're within yourself. Excuse me. I'm sorry about the train. That human development, it starts within yourself, and it has different spokes. And each spokes on this medicine wheel offers something to you. Each compass direction, there's a different lesson or a different gift that supports the development of you and a balanced individual, of you in all totality. Okay? The idea of a medicine wheel, as well as the Sigil Precept, is to remain balanced at the center of the wheel while developing equally the physical, the mental, the spiritual, the emotional aspects of your personality, of your life. So, in and all of itself, the Sigil Precept in and of itself is a model of how we can bring certain aspects within ourselves to bring clarity, to understand our development, to understand our course in life, our path in life. It's all of this and more. And when you look at the Sigil Precept, each person that I've worked with looks at the Sigil Precept and sees something different. And that is very normal. That is very expected. I'm actually very happy for that, because it should be. It should resonate with you however it needs to resonate with you, because this is your journey. Okay? So keep that in mind as we go further. So, to break this down a little bit, with the Sigil Precept in its entirety, it always begins in the center of the sigil. And in the center of the sigil, you will see self. Okay? Think of yourself, where you're at in life, how you came here, who you became, all of it. That is self. Okay? Now I want you to take a few moments, and I want you to think of what aspects in your life right at this moment, okay, seem unbalanced to you. Is it something in your mental? Is it something in your physical? Is it something in your emotional? Is it something in your spiritual? Okay? Usually, when there's something in a crux, or something off, or something unbalanced in one of those aspects, there's a problem, there's an issue that we have to address. Part of life is growth. Growing who we are, knowing, learning, expanding our consciousness, expanding who we are, begins with growth. And that's part of life. Life in and of itself, in a nutshell, is growth on any of those levels, and probably more. So I want you to think about this for a moment. When you're centering in yourself and you're having some sort of crux or some sort of problem within your life, focus on this time and ask yourself, what has brought you to this uncertain point in your life right now? Why are you feeling this way? What's going on? Okay, look at your present life. What happened by your hand? Okay, because it's always going to be a part of you. You have to take some responsibility in this. Your life is unbalanced right now because something has happened. Okay, what has happened? Is it because something happened to you? Is it something you did nothing? You did something? You did nothing? What? Okay, these are very hard questions, I know. I'm not trying to single anyone out. I'm simply telling you my opinion based on what's going on. In the past month, usually things have either started 4 to 6 weeks or longer, but it has come to a head at least in the last month, usually the last 4 weeks. So what has happened by your hand, by your choice, and what is, and that has been added to, or maybe the cause of this crux that you're in? What are the steps you took to be here? Can you have taken any different steps, thus making different outcomes? Do you own your achievements and failures equally? What can you do differently right here, right now, to bring about change? What change do you want to bring about? Writing all this down puts this in a perspective to you can see the actual problem. When we sit and we think about it and we mull around in our head, we can come up with an answer, but it's much easier if we write it down to see where the problems lie, and be honest with yourself, okay? And then once you have that all written down, really truly look at this. Will this remain in a month? Will this crux that you're going through, this uncertainty in your life, will it remain the same way it is, completely the same, in a month? What about a year from now? Will it remain the same? If not, how will it change? Write all that down too. Okay? The next thing I want you to do is make a list of the steps you need to complete in order to bring change within your life, to help you out of this crux, out of this uncertainty, out of this problem, out of this issue, out of this whatever you wish to call it. Okay? So, that's the first aspect of the Sigil Precept, which is beginning itself, growth, which is the next one, birth, death, and rebirth. So starting with self, we're focusing on one certain issue in your life right now. Just one. Don't do 10, don't do 2, don't even, just one. And if you have to, start small. Okay? I always tell people start small. Smallest steps are the best because it's still a step. Okay? When we analyze and ask those questions of ourselves about this issue, about this uncertainty, about this crux, we're growing. So we hit the growth. Okay? We're birthing new ideas by how we're coming out of this. Okay? When we take action from that growth and that birth, we're taking action, so we're putting that issue in death. We're allowing it to go away. And then when we come back out and we have an answer to what's going on, that's rebirth. Okay? For this one little issue, you've already taken 4 steps. Actually 5 in total, because you've taken the very first step of self, of recognizing and being mindful of the problem. So you've taken 5 steps total so far. So that's the first part of that. Okay? The next we're going to do is we're going to add another aspect to this one problem that we started with, this one issue, this one uncertainty, this one whatever you wish to name it. Okay? That it's going to assist you in the growth and the change. And that's going to be the phases of the moon. And since you wish to make a change in your life right here, right now, and want it to hopefully stay that way, following the course of the moon can do just that. Go online. Look for a calendar for the year that has the moon phases within it. Okay? Plan to make your changes in correlation to those moon phases. Remember that, it'll take a month, but it's taken months for you to get here already. Change takes time. Change takes patience, and change takes consistency. Okay? Begin with the new moon. Okay? If the new moon's a week or 2 or whatever off, that's okay. This will give you time to plan. Patience. Okay? The new moon is time for newness and beginnings. Okay? Write down exactly what it is you wish to change in your life or to begin. Okay? I want you to be as specific as possible, but only write down a minimum of 2 things tops. Okay? Don't become overwhelmed. In order to change one problem, 2 changes need to be made. Just 2. Your body and your mind will not be able to handle more than that. Okay? As the moon moves into waxing, which is growing, think of how you can increase the positive within your life with the changes that are happening in your life right now. So if you want to make a change, you're doing that in the new moon. You're planting the seed of change. As the waxing moon comes, you're taking the steps to grow for that change. Okay? Then comes the full moon phase. By this time, if you've been working diligently, the changes that you want will come to fulfillment and should be a part of your life now. So it's taking you about a month, 30 days. Sometimes if it's a bigger problem, bigger uncertainty, whatever, it may take you a couple, and that's okay. Again, patience and consistency. Okay? Finally, at the waning phase, when it's finally leaving, okay, this is your going within. This is your inner reflection time. And contemplate all that you have changed in your life simply by taking control and doing something positive. Make a list, should you wish, of anything else that you want to change for future use that you can replant for the new moon. If there's more aspects of that first uncertainty that you started with, write down the second aspect and work through it again. Okay? Okay. Now, once that's done with that first aspect, we're going to go to the next, which, if you'll notice on the Sigil Precept, is the seasons. Spring, summer, winter, fall. Okay? The next step can be done immediately if you want, or it can be done at a later time. Choice is yours. But this is the next step. These two levels go hand in hand as honoring. The first part being the season. So place yourself on the corresponding season that is at this time. Like right now, it's autumn or fall. Okay, so you place yourself right now in fall. Okay, go out and do some of the things that honor you, correlating with that season, with fall and that aspect. Okay, bring into yourself some of the energies and reflections of the particular season that you're going to honor right now, the stages of life that you're in right now. Okay. So, just a reminder, spring is the maiden warrior, summer is the mother king, winter is the crone sage, and autumn is always the turning point. Okay? Always the turning point of self. Okay? Next aspect is the seasons. Okay? The states of beings after the seasons, which is going to be all, this is where you can see them all that has been on hand and assisted you to balance. Think of that particular problem. Look at where you felt when you began. Okay? Now take a moment and fill in the blank of the form. Use the elements and states of being form as an aid, which is actually on here as well, which is the problem issue, and I'll be posting that shortly. And fill in the blank. Number 1, place a number in the direction that you began, subsequently filling in a number to each the one you felt next. So, for instance, direction. Okay. Sorry, I got to sneeze. Fill in description of the direction. Fill in the state of being and information of the direction, and then fill in the balanced energies and the unbalanced energies. Okay. You can see where you veered off course. I gave you an example. I'll be giving you an example after this part of the video before we go further. But just to let you know, my problem issue, as an example, was lost friendships due to constant anger. So at the very top, I put direction. At that time, it was south, fire, which is a 2. 3, west, which is sensual. 1 and 4, which is east, air, and my physical. Okay? Description was fire, south, desire. West, emotions. Sensual emotions was emotions. 1 and 4, east, air, intellect, and physical was none. Okay? State of being was spiritual, sensual, mental, physical to go with each of those directions. And each of those correlations for those directions. Energies. Balanced, being positive, how I was passionate, how I was how I was passionate but forceful. My emotional was emotional. I did not have any air and no physical. Unbalanced, which is the negative, I was being hyper, I was being combative, I was being destructive. Melancholy and stagnant was my sensual emotional. My east was distracted and paranoid. My physical was laziness, inert, and stubbornness. So, I'll explain to you in just a moment, but double check on the next one that comes up, which is going to be an example of this before we go further. As you can see, I gave you that problem issue, okay? Now, with that being said, even though it's a problem issue, you can literally use this and draw it out yourself and just add in what you need. By using this form, we can see where the unbalanced actions and reactions are overtaking the positives in our lives, thus leading us to a total social breakdown sometimes. And also by using the same form, we can change it in order to bring chaos down and balance and harmony as well. Bring that down. So there you have it, how to work with the sigil on a whole in just under 2 months. But doing this is a quick thing too. You can also use this as a quick thing too for any problems or issues that you may have that you're trying to find clarity on. Now you can take this book and you can use it as a whole or otherwise. It's up to you. However, I have some other stuff that we're going to work at before we finally say goodbye. With that being said, working with the sigil, we're going to go look at the human development is what we do, and how each aspect represents a different lesson or gift, and the ultimate gift to show us where we've balanced and unbalanced in our lives. Okay? So I'm going to ask you questions. So if you have the workbook, it's on page 116. If not, that's okay. I want you to answer each question that I ask, and I want you to fill in your answers on that spoke or the area of the sigil that you need. Okay, we're going to start in the center. Okay? Think of how you are right now. How you are and who you are. Okay, but definitely how you are. Okay? Where are you in life presently? Okay? What steps did you take to get here into this life? Whom have you become? What is balanced? And the other question is, what is unbalanced? Okay? So I want you to answer those questions, starting in the center. Once you have that done, I want you to think of growth, of life, okay? Think of how you are in your life growth right now, okay? What problem or issue, one singular problem or issue sticks out in your life most right now? What steps did you take to get here? What has happened by your own hand? Okay, we're not looking at anybody else. We're looking at ourselves because, again, the sigil is all about self-development, human growth within ourselves, okay? What is balanced and what is unbalanced? Are you owning your achievements? Are also, on the other hand, are you owning your failures? What steps do you need to change your life, to take that change in your life? How are you going to go forward from here? Okay? The next aspect is the moon phases. When the new moon comes around, I want you to think of 2 things you want to change. Write them down. Okay? Work on those 2 things until the waxing phase comes along. Write down 3 positive things happening right now that are related to the 2 things that you're changing during that waxing phase. When the full moon comes around, were you able to be consistent and make those changes? If not, why? When the waning moon comes, go within and contemplate all that you've changed. Make a list of the next changes coming up. Okay? Now, with that being said, place yourself in the corresponding current season right now. I want you to go out and I want you to do one thing that honors you, the season, and that aspect. Okay? And then I want you to write down some things that helps you to honor that. Think about that. Okay? When you're all done, I want you to think about everything that has gone on in your life. Right here, right now. Nope, I gotta pick something up here. What is it that has helped you or hindered you? We, as human beings, are so amazing that we can do anything we put our minds to. Anything. As long as we work at it. And you, beautiful soul, you are a wonderful garden awaiting to bloom. All I gotta do is bloom. That's all I gotta do. You have to work the soil. You have to plant the seeds. You have to cultivate the growth. You have to cultivate that. And once you grow, you have to enjoy the fruits of your labor and the beauty that's around you. And yes, you can pick those beautiful flowers and you can hold them close. And then eventually, if you want to plant more, you're going to have to tear that up and plant more. It's a cycle. That's how we live. We live in a cycle of change, in a cycle of ever growing, ever expanding, ever learning. And my beautiful soul person, you deserve it. So I hope by the end of this that you have done what you needed to do, that it's helped you grow, it's helped you expand. I hope that this has helped you in some way. I thank you for joining me. I thank you for being with me on this journey. And I hope to hear from you. If not, that's okay. Know that you are loved, you are blessed, you are amazing, you're wanted, you're needed in this world, you make a difference. That you deserve only the best. Only the best. And I hope you get it because you deserve it. Thank you again for all that you are. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much. May you have a wonderfully blessed day.